Quality is a trait that is built into our company. It is a culture that runs from the top down at Red Remedies. It begins with me, Red Remedies founder and CEO, and is instilled into every employee. Quality is built into the process and eventually into each product. Testing and inspecting serve to verify that the processes involved in manufacturing a product create and maintain the quality standard. We decided from the very beginning at Red Remedies that our products would be absolutely pure, that we would respect people, traditions, and the planet in our ingredient selections, and that we would build trust and, of course, verify quality. Every dietary supplement manufacturer must follow and comply with the federal regulations set forth by the FDA, which are called the Good Manufacturing Practices, or the Code of Federal Regulations, Title 21, Part 111. These regulations represent the minimum a dietary supplement manufacturer must do in their manufacturing and quality processes to ensure identity, purity, and strength. At Red Remedies, we not only meet but exceed these standards. We have designed what we call our 4-part quality control program. There is a significant amount of work that goes into each point, so let's go through them. Step 1 of Red Remedies' 4-part quality control process is vendor qualification. Our quality mission begins with our suppliers. We strive to develop direct relationships with all our ingredient suppliers. It is critical for us at Red Remedies to know who these people are personally. What is their quality philosophy? Is quality built into their company? Do they understand the basic principles of herbalism? Do they support the people who nurture and grow the botanicals? Do they protect the environment and maintain sustainability practices? All of these issues and more are examined during vendor qualification. This is the first step and what we consider to be the most important step. We are dedicated to investing the time and energy to make certain that we are working with the right raw material partners. During the vendor qualification process, each new potential vendor must complete a questionnaire regarding sourcing, their quality processes, and the presence of allergens in their facility, among other topics. After that step, a sample of the potential new raw material is sent to us for verification. During this step, the potential raw material is tested for contaminants, including bacteria and mold and heavy metals. The raw material is then verified against the certificate of analysis for identity and potency. This verification process answers the question, is this raw material what they claim it to be? All these steps must occur before raw material is ever approved for use in any Red Remedies product. After a raw material vendor is qualified, we then have the relationship and trust to use the potential ingredient. Step 2 of Red Remedies' 4-part quality control process is raw material verification. Even though the raw material supplier has been qualified as an approved vendor, we do not assume that every lot of every raw material will meet our strict specifications. Each raw material that enters the facility must be verified for identity, purity, and potency before it hits the manufacturing floor. During raw material testing, many of the tests performed on the sample during vendor qualification are repeated for further verification. Microbiological screening is performed to determine the presence or lack thereof of Staphylococcus, chloroforms, E. coli, enterobacteria, yeast, mold, TPCs. These are the first tests that are conducted because if any of these results exceed the USP limits, the material goes no further. Today's supply chain is global in nature, and we can't avoid that. Many things can occur throughout the supply chain, and raw material testing ensures the integrity of the ingredient. Many different methods of testing can be used to identify raw material, particularly botanicals. However, although identification methods can number in the dozens, that does not imply that any of these methods should be used. There are very specific methods that should be used to identify each raw material type. For example, minerals can be tested using atomic absorption or ICP-MS. These are the accepted methods for minerals, but not botanicals. In the world of botanicals, many methods for identity exist, from organoleptic analysis to high-performance thin-layer chromatography. The method must be fit for the material. Organoleptic analysis, which involves trained personnel who assess botanicals for taste, odor, color, texture, and appearance, would be an acceptable method for a whole botanical or a very minimally processed botanical. A botanical in such a state would still resemble the plant. A trained individual could likely identify dandelions as dandelions if the material were actually whole dandelion plants. When a botanical has been processed and powdered, organoleptic methods would no longer be considered acceptable. The processed material no longer resembles the plant in question. For these types of materials, we require a much keener or more sensitive method such as HPTLC. This method can provide data points including plant constituent markers or the active compounds and how much they are present in the material. In other words, HPTLC will determine if the ginger root in our Gouch formula meets specification for 5% gingerols. Not 2%, not 25%, but 5%. Other methods utilized to identify raw materials include IR spectroscopy, UPLC, and UV-Vis. Step 3 of Red Remedy's 4-part quality control process is the manufacturing processes. During the manufacturing process, each step must be verified to ensure the quality of the finished product. Each step, from choosing the correct bottle to the machines used to encapsulate or tablet that product, is checked and double-checked. Each component is checked against the master manufacturing record or the recipe for each product. The weights of each component and the total weight of the formula mix are verified before and after the ingredients are mixed. While the ingredient mix is encapsulated or tableted, samples are pulled out every hour and verified for weight. In addition, the machines are verified as running properly every 15 minutes. When a batch of finished product has completed the encapsulating or tableting process, we then move to finished product testing, which occurs prior to the bottling process. At finished goods testing, the product is again tested for identity, purity, and potency to ensure that what we say is on the label is, in fact, in the bottle. We also test finished products for the presence of gluten, heavy metals, and pesticides. For our pesticide screen, we use the USP, United States Pharmacopoeia, and the EP, European Pharmacopoeia, method and limits for over 60 pesticide residues and their metabolites. It is important to use a combination of both the USP and EP limits rather than only one or the other. There are different pesticides on each of these lists that we want to ensure are not in Red Remedy's products. The Red Remedy standard for pesticide testing will ensure that the ingredients we get from China, India, and other places around the globe are free of pesticides. Even though not one of our finished products has ever failed this screen, we conduct these pesticide screenings faithfully and never assume that a lot will pass just because all others have. This gives us confidence that our relationships are trustworthy and is a validation of our commitment to build trust and then verify. In addition to tests for identity, purity, and potency, finished products are also tested for friability and disintegration. Friability is the tendency for a tablet to chip, crumble, or break after it's been compressed. The overall friability of a tablet will affect its ability to disintegrate properly. Too little compression and the tablet falls apart. Too much compression and the tablet doesn't disintegrate. There are a lot of details packed into the steps just outlined in order to make sure that we get it right every time without fail. The good news is that the team at Red Remedies gets really excited about all of these details because we know the end result is a product that absolutely will nourish your body, support all of the body systems involved in the issue that we are addressing, and ultimately create balance. When we say health from a global perspective, it is true. We have amazing partners all over the globe, and many have been growing a particular herb for generations upon generations. They provide incredible botanicals and other vital ingredients. We put those together in a formula that considers the whole body, or you might say, looks at your whole body from a global perspective, because your body is connected. And we know that when we consider the whole body while targeting the problem, we get real and lasting results. Join us to live better and feel better.